one thing I wanted to, and you've really answered this question, but I want to really peel back the layer just a little bit from more of a person like you and I, right? We have our savings, we have our maybe our retirement accounts, et cetera. And we're like, man, you know what? I want to step out there. I want to invest. Or I may have 4 or 5 houses that, I own. I'm not institutional, right? Where I have private equity money and I can go buy a ton of homes, but I'm just a regular guy, a regular woman, a regular person that wants to diversify my portfolio and truly get into this real estate investing game, right? So, in evaluating potential real estate deals, what investment criteria for people who may not have that true knowledge of the financials behind real estate investing, what would be the just some top line, high level criteria that you would give them if they are truly interested, not necessarily in flips, but in long term holds? How would I
Yeah,
look at that? What's some criteria you can share?
such an excellent question. And I know that's the majority of people probably on this call, right? So if we're not talking about a single family flip, because that's very, very easy to conceptually think about, um, let's talk about if we're just looking at a small multifamily property, right? So number one, you got to know, is this thing rent controlled, right? And how, in the
Mm,
state that I'm investing in, are they a tenant friendly state? Are they a landlord friendly state? In
love
Los
that.
Angeles, it is a very tenant friendly state, which makes repositioning multifamily properties very, very difficult, right? You have to just it's hard to buy those tenants out. There's a lot of paperwork that has to be submitted to the city. The tenant basically has first right of refusal to cancel any sort of cash or keys agreement. So you kind of need to know the regulations from a government perspective, right?
Gotcha.
But assuming you're not in a state that is very tenant friendly and there's a very balanced uh, relationship between a tenant and a landlord, then you kind of have to look at things a couple of different ways. Like, are you buying for cash flow? And if so, do you have to reposition your units, right? Do you have to bring those things up to market value? That's a very easy thing, and that can be accomplished in looking at a deal before you even make an offer, right? Like, what are the current rents? What can they be bumped up to, right? What's my cap rate if I'm backing into, a 30% expense ratio? Super easy. But to kind of take it one step further is um, small multifamilies are oftentimes really good candidates for covered land plays, right? So let's say that we're looking at a 3 unit, like a triplex on a 9,000 square foot lot. So existing triplex, maybe built in the 70s. But over the last 10 years, that the zoning went from an R3, which allowed for those 3 units on the site, to maybe an R4, which, instead of 1 unit for every 250 square feet of lot space, maybe it's 1 unit for every 100 square feet of lot space. So you can say, okay, cool. Well, I want to buy this, hold it for at least 10 years. Maybe I want to will it to my kids one day. But the current financials are, this thing shakes out to a 5.5 cap, but that covers my debt service and I'm cash flow positive $800 a month. Awesome. But because of the zoning change, I can now, if I want to, add an ADU in the back, right? Which is going to cost me 250 grand to do, but it's going to add an additional 1,700 bucks a month on top of free cash flow, right? So covered land plays are awesome because you're buying something that's already cash flowing, but you have the ability to add more units, right? To only add to that cash flow. So for the kind of the mom and pop investor, that's usually the best type of investment because, going through a ground up development or, buying a single family on spec that you're going to flip it and sell it, like those always make me personally nervous. Because again, like the market dynamics are out of our hands, right? If they
Exactly.
continue to raise all these tariffs, which causes lumber prices and all of the things that we need to do to build these houses to go up by 40%, right? That's going to significantly affect my underwriting, right? And
Absolutely.
so covered land plays are awesome. It's something I'm always pushing people that are, my age who have, some savings and want to deploy that to real estate. That's usually what I'm on the lookout for.
Perfect.